You're listening to Your Worst Friend with Shane and Matt. I'm Matt, and I'm joined today by my best friend and co-host, Shane.
Yo.
And this is the third season of Your Worst Friend Going Deeper. Today we have a very special guest with us, a rising star. She is adorable. She's a hard worker. And she's super intelligent, which is also the worst thing you could possibly do is set somebody up like that, I think. That'd be like if we brought a comic on and we were like, this is the funniest person you'll ever hear in your life. And then they go, I have no jokes right now. So I understand your intellect is there. You may not be able to bring it down to our level, though. So if she doesn't sound like the smartest person you've ever heard, it's just our fault. It's not hers. We're joined today by Leana Lovings. You can find her on Twitter, Leana Lovings, LeanaLovings, capitalize the L's. On Instagram, the Leana Lovings, which, as we've talked about big tech in the past, I'm sure because she got booted at some point from Instagram. Yep, that's how it works. OnlyFans, Leana Lovings. Now you said those are lowercase on OnlyFans.
Yes,
Are you
they are.
are you shadow banned on OnlyFans?
Am I shadow banned on OnlyFans?
No, that's normally why you would want to specify the capitalization. Like we interviewed someone a few weeks ago who told us that a URL needs to be capitalized, to which I said, no, it doesn't. Like that's not how computers work.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So OnlyFans, Leana Lovings, and Twitch. You can find her on Twitch at Luna Lore, LunaLure. Leana Lovings, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
It's Twitch like video games or something?
Yes. So I am a gamer. I've played a lot of different games, but when I stream on Twitch, I have usually gone into Destiny 2 and League of Legends.
And that's sorry, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know what Twitch rules are. I've never used it before. Do you stream just like regular gaming stuff, or can you do like more sexy content on there, or is it like, how does Twitch work?
That's actually a very interesting question. I use Twitch as my sort of safe for work medium. So I have other streaming platforms that I use to engage with my fans intimately and sexually, and that's Chatterbait. That's the platform that I use. When I am on Twitch, I am wearing all of my clothes and I'm not making any form of sexual innuendo. I'm just being myself.
Cool. Now, do you look down on people who consider themselves You don't look. All right. Let me also restart this. From everything I've heard from you, you are such a damn sweetheart all the time. So I understand you don't technically look down on anyone, but I only play one game. Does that make me not nerdy enough? I've been playing one game for about 5 or 6 years now, and only this game.
What game have you been playing?
I am deeply in love, and it bums me out because they were just purchased and I'm scared they're going to make it exclusive. I am deeply in love with the Fallout franchise.
Oh.
Yeah, but I am fully committed to the PlayStation system. So Microsoft just purchased the studio that makes Fallout. I'm a little scared we're going Xbox exclusive here, and I am not a fan of that. So does that make me not cool, the fact that I only play one game?
No, that still makes you cool.
Okay.
Because you're involved in understanding of the gaming community and the company that owns it. And I have been worried as well when it came to that particular gaming company. I don't know if we're allowed to name them.
Yeah, but you can. Let me pause you. You can say, you can do whatever you want. Totally cool. Bethesda, right?
Okay, Bethesda, yeah. So when it comes to Bethesda, I felt the same way about Skyrim. I'm very pervy, so I have porn modded my Skyrim. So I am very worried that
it's got like fucking dildos and stuff attached to it.
Yeah, I've got penis mushrooms, I've got naked fairies instead of fireflies. I have it so that my character can invite their followers to have sex with them. I have sex magic spells where everyone undresses and has orgies. It's great.
Wow. I didn't know you could do that in this game. I thought that game was dragons and orbs or
Oh,
something
it's
like that.
entirely dragons and orbs, but I've specifically modded my
Oh,
Skyrim.
like a
So there's a
hacker.
separate program that you use. Well, I haven't programmed it
Sure.
myself,
Hmm.
but it is a very rigorous amount of time. I probably spend about 100 hours modding my Skyrim game.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Damn.
I I have never been able. I have fresh built PCs all of my life, and I have never been able to get one good enough to play games on it. I don't know why. I mean, like even the most simple, basic games, not the most basic
Doom.
games. Like I could play Minesweeper on it, but like I have great graphics cards, great everything, and then I dump it in and I try and install it, and something happens, and I'm just done, and I just go forget it. I'll just go back over to my PlayStation and play Fallout again.
I think it's the red wire, probably.
It might be.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, going back to just everything in general in terms of your career and everything else. I don't know if you know this, but the Disney company just announced that there was a secret cartoon from 1940 with a character named Leana Lovings. That's not true. What is your second choice for a stage name if you were to jump into one and you can't pick your Twitch name either? Has anyone ever asked you what your second choice for a stage name would be?
Well, I actually already have a second choice for a stage name. My name before Leana Lovings and my name on Chatterbait is Naughty Night Lover. And I still really love that name. It was the name that I came up with before I sort of created Leana Lovings. I loved it because of the level of alliteration that there is in the name. And Naughty Night Lover, I think, is still sexy enough and suggestive to what I do.
For sure. For sure. Now,
Yes.
I have to ask you, unfortunately, when I was doing my research, it turned out you were born the year this movie came out. Um, are you She's All Thatting Us in real life? Okay.
Oh no, I don't know what She's All That is.
Oh, you're not missing anything. It's not
No, it
good.
wasn't a good movie. It had Freddie Prinze Jr. in it and Rachel Lee Cook. Now, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s career was pretty much done by the time you were born, but he's married to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's pretty cool. And it had
Ooh.
Rachel Lee Cook from the Josie and the Pussycats movie, the original one. And what it was Rachel Lee Cook was like a total dork, like nerd loser, and she like wore glasses and had her hair up. And then like one day, people were like, "Hey, look at that total dork loser over there." And Freddie Prinze Jr. was like, "I bet I could make her hot." And essentially, what they did is they let her hair down and just took her glasses off, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, she's a 10. Why didn't we see this before?" Now, I have seen different pictures and different versions and this and that of you. You are gorgeous with the glasses on. That is definitely one established look where it's like, oh my God, she's like this cute, kind of nerdy gamer
It's
girl.
like the sexy Velma thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you.
And then you pop the glasses off and She's All Thatting Us, where you're basically like, oh, I'm also this fucking drop dead gorgeous bombshell. So this was not a thing you were doing to almost have two separate personas. God, she probably doesn't know Urkel and Family Matters either.
Oh, dude.
Do
She
you know
should
who,
have.
okay, there was a show in the early 90s called Family Matters, and there was a character named Urkel, and he was this dork. And then sometimes he would go into this secret little room and come out as Stefan, and he was like this hot, suave, good-looking guy. So you're either Urkeling us or you're She's All Thatting Us. Is there a conscious effort between creating almost two personalities and two things behind it, or are you just like, sometimes I like to wear my glasses and sometimes they tell me not to wear my glasses?
I would like to say that there was never intention to create a division in my identity. I have always enjoyed keeping my glasses on, but in the way that I explore my sexuality and the way that I explore my desires, sometimes I do enjoy the sense of a transformation. And when I take those glasses off, it feels like I can be more raw, I can be more energetic, and I can engage in different facial expressions because glasses still partially cover your face. And so it changes the way that your facial expressions appear to other people. Just as how you were describing the way that I look very nerdy and cute with my glasses and the dramatic shift. I really don't think at the end of the day, any of it was ever intentional.
Okay.
But yeah.
So
How bad are your eyes though? Are they not great?
Oh, yeah, I can't see shit.
When I was in 4th grade, I went to a optometrist, and I thought I would look smarter with glasses, so I faked the test just by a couple clicks. I was just like, "No, that's blurry," and it was perfectly clear. And then he did a couple more, and it was blurry. I was like, "No, shit looks good. Yeah, 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 right there." And I got these cute little like blue glasses that I might actually have in a drawer somewhere.
blue.
And I wore them like twice, and I was like, wearing glasses kind of stinks. Like the act of having to do it. Do you like wearing glasses? Have you? I mean, you like it? Do you like it aesthetically, or do you actually just like having something on your face all the time?
I think it's absolutely both.
Okay.
I actually shower with my glasses on. I've
Okay.
fallen asleep with my glasses on. They stay on my face unless I'm absolutely sure that I'm going to bed.
Wow. Okay.
And sometimes I don't even notice it. It's just if I wake up without my glasses, it'll take me a second to realize that I'm not wearing them. And all of a sudden I'm scrambling to find them.
Oh, wow. Shane, did you have
That's
a question?
well, that's just like me when I smoke a cigarette. I just keep going until I'm sure I'm going to sleep, you know?
In the shower, falling
Yeah.
asleep with one.
Yeah, going to the
sure.
bathroom and stuff. But I was, getting back to a division in Leana Lovings, how much of you is in Leana Lovings? Is there a division between the persona and the real person, or are you essentially the same person all
There's
the time?
there's probably some division, but how much of a division is there? If there is one, yeah.
Oh, this is a great question.
Thank you. I tagged it with the good part. Shane's was kind of like fine and bland, but like I really tagged it on there. Go ahead, Leanna. I apologize.
Okay, you guys really zeroed in on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
I can absolutely say, oh God, I forgot what the question was.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Shane, ask it again, maybe.
Well, the correct way was how much of you is in Leana Lovings, the real you?
Okay, so I can absolutely say that Leana Lovings is just me magnified. That's the way that I describe it. It is absolutely unapologetically me. Because I started out before the industry, extremely shy and reserved. I like to describe porn as almost like Halloween, where I get to be someone else. But that me is someone that's not afraid to enjoy these sexual experiences. And it's a part of myself that I don't show anyone else. So in some ways it's more myself than other people get to see in any other day.
So the magnified part, is it certain attributes that are magnified, or is it just you
Yes.
magnified? Okay. So it's not like if you're having a bad day and then you have to film a scene or something like that, you don't take it out 10 times worse on your scene
No,
partner.
of course not.
Okay, yeah, of course. Okay, so it's what you maybe like the best of you times 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe not times 1,000.
Okay.
I don't think I'm so awesome, but I could say that let's see, to make a comparison, if you were to see me on the street just walking by, I would be wearing a hoodie and skinny jeans and flats and probably 3 other layers of clothes underneath. But on a
Seattle.
set, I'm on set, I'm more exposed. I'm far more comfortable in my manner of speech. And I take the things that I know that people enjoy when they interact with me, and I just focus on bringing that out more in front of the camera.
Okay.
Absolutely. Cool.
So I told Shane you remind us of this girl from high school. You remind me of this girl from high school. I won't say her name on the show. I could, we could bleep it out, but I won't because it's not going to mean anything to you. This girl was sweet to the point that people were a little bit like, now I'm not saying this is you at all. Let me establish that. But so sweet to the point that people were like, what does she drown puppies in her private life?
What's she
Like
hiding?
how
Yeah.
what is she hiding? What is this? Where are the bodies, Laura? Her name was Laura. But as much as everybody was like, something's off about the girl, she's still at one school president, prom queen, all of that stuff all the time. She wasn't like the hot cheerleader girl. She was just the nice person. Where does that come from for you? Because you do, again, come off as such a real sweetheart all the time. And that has to play into, why your fans really enjoy you. I assume on like Chatterbait or Twitch, that's why people like engaging in that conversation with you, because they know you're not gonna, come on one night, I assume, and just be like, nobody's fucking tipping, let's go, what are we doing here? No.
When I'm
So
streaming,
go ahead, I apologize.
oh, it's okay. When I'm streaming, I like to connect with other people. Outside of exploring my sexuality, a lot of it was getting to understand other people through conversation and really help them feel not as lonely. I know that sometimes when people are watching a stream, they want company and they want the essence of someone that actually cares about them. And I grew up extremely bullied. I was sort of the ugly duckling in high school. People either called me the Energizer Bunny on steroids, or they called me the turtle.
Okay, those are two completely different things.
Yeah.
There's actually a whole fairy tale, a children's nursery rhyme, I think, about how polar opposite they are.
Exactly. The issue is I just had so much energy all of the time. And at the same time, I was this tiny little person with a gigantic backpack that looked like a turtle shell. And I hid inside of myself, despite the fact that I was consistently so happy that I skipped to my classrooms.
Why didn't they call you the Energizer Turtle?
I don't think that ever came into anybody's mind. But in the end, I was still pretty bullied in school. And I realized that what I wanted in that moment was to just have someone that actually cared about me and connected with me. And I talked to my fans the way that I would have wanted to have been spoken to at that point in my life. And so that's where that comes from.
Now, but the question is, okay, the question with that, because I think that is an entirely noble and very nice thing you would want to do. That's taking, the porn industry and then also just going like, how can I basically provide therapy for people who might need help? Not necessarily direct therapy, but the friendship, the connection. Do you run into problems? I would assume yes, with people who might take it too far in your DMs or your messages, where it's like, oh, Leana, I know you love me because you say nice things to me. And how do you kind of let people down if you have to in those types of situations? Or how do you, keep a safe distance? And have you ever had a stalker?
Ooh, okay. So fun questions. I will say that when it comes to distance, I always like to remind my fans that no matter how real it may feel, my feelings are genuine and care for them, but it's not capable to achieve full intimacy. I will always say that I'm either too shy to establish connections with other people in that kind of way, or, thank you so much for caring about me. But I just want to establish that this is my way of expressing that, and it will always remain on the other side of a screen.
That's
damn.
I hope, for your sake that they get that.
Can I unsend DMs on IG?
Yeah, please.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
When it came to stalkers, so I'm debating on which ones to share. One of them was a UPS delivery guy.
Oh,
That's not
fuck.
great. They
That's
have
the
your
worst
address
one.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he read the names of my packages, and some of my fans on my wish list delivered them to my stage name, Leana Lovings. Because on Amazon, I didn't want to use my real name for my wish list because they would see it. So my stage name was sent out. And the delivery guy thought that was a weird name, I guess, and looked up my name. And one day he pretended to deliver a fake package at my door and left a sticky note saying, please just call me back later. This is my phone number. I hope we can start a relationship. And I told him no, and then he stopped delivering my packages for a week.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a variety of experiences that you're going to get, and sometimes people form attachments that are too strong even without intending to. Sometimes when you have a crush on someone, it's difficult to know how to establish safe boundaries and how to establish that kind of acknowledgement. It might be easier to acknowledge that you know someone from like a movie, but it's different when it comes to something that's so extremely intimate that someone feels like they formed a bond with you without ever meeting you.
So, was it creepy when you read the note and it said, I hope we can form a relationship? I'm thinking if I were a girl, I'd prefer something more like graphic and sexual because it seems less creepy to me. Or did you
And
find it sweet that he wanted to form a relation? Like if he had put a picture of his dick up there and just wrote like what you see, at least as a performer, I could be like, okay, this guy just wants, he's a sex guy and that's fine. And I'll let him down lightly. But like, you know, him putting like, we could form a relationship and I just love you immediately. That to
yeah,
me
don't you
is
just
like,
panic right away?
yeah. Did you
Yeah.
panic a little bit?
I did panic a little bit. Part of me was like, that's kind of sweet. And then, oh, wait, he knows where I live. And so that's where the worries started in, because there is a level of safety that you have to always be aware of as a performer.
For sure. Let me share something real quick. Shane, we've never done this with a guest on Going Deeper. We've shared things, but I would like to, if we could, watch the entire trailer for She's All That, so that Leanna could get a sense of what this movie was about and how she's exactly like Rachel Lee Cook in this movie.
Okay, put on this fucking trailer. Let's see this shit. I bet it's really good.
Zach Seiler had it all.
How's it going, man?
President of his class, captain of the team, and dating the most popular girl in school. Until she went on spring break.
So I've been dancing for maybe 5 minutes, right? And that's when it happened.
I'm Brock Hudson!
Brock is from the real world, like the TV show, okay?
But they kicked him out of the house.
My condolences go out to Zach, who got dissed and dismissed by his magically delicious girlfriend.
In order to save his reputation, he's taken on an impossible
This
bet.
was about a
I'll
girl.
pick the girl. And you got 6 weeks to turn her into the prom queen. Gentlemen, we have a winner. You call off the bet, you lose. I don't lose.
So, Lanny, listen. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to embarrass me horribly in front of all these people.
So who's the lucky rebound girl?
She kind of blew me off.
I like her already.
Was this some kind of new dork outreach program?
Find out where she hangs out, what she does for fun.
Don't tell me you guys are on a date.
No, we're just friends.
I feel just like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, you know, except for that whole hooker thing.
To everyone here who matters, you're vapor.
I forgot why I avoided places like this and people like you.
Am I a bet? Am I a stupid bet?
This is one contest you're gonna lose. You're going down, man.
I can see it.
All right, you get the point. Yeah, the weren't a great time.
That looks very bad.
Yeah, that movie stunk, but you can see it, right? Did you see when that turtle girl was falling all over with her heavy ass backpack?
Yeah.
Right? You almost kind of have a Rachel Lee Cook look to your face too.
He's way better.
I mean,
Way
yes,
better than
Leana
Rachel
Lovings
Lee
is
Cook.
way hotter than
Jesus.
that. Yes, obviously. Sorry,
Thank you.
I apologize. But see, that's why I was wondering on that. Okay, fair enough. We've established that. We've established there are creeps in your life, and you have handled them very professionally, and I appreciate that. Can we
Thank you.
delve a little bit into how you got into the industry to begin with, maybe some stuff about how you grew up. I definitely am not letting on that I've heard interviews with you before. Maybe if anything cool happened at any kind of religious concerts or anything like that.
Oh gosh, the abstinence concerts, where I got my purity ring and then immediately accidentally threw it away.
Exchanged it for a Nuva ring.
I can say I had a very sheltered upbringing, and it was extremely religious Christian household, and transitioning from that and from being scared to masturbate, being told that it was a sin, scared to go outside.
Well, it is.
Of course, I sin every night, but really, I thought that it was so bad. I had a cross on my bedroom wall, and every time I would think about masturbating, and I might, I'd look up at the wall and I think, oh, God's judging me, and I'd stop. I actually could not come for years after I started masturbating. It was very difficult. And eventually I got to the point where I could orgasm. And I achieved that when I first started streaming online. My first orgasm was when I started streaming online, because that's the only point I actually started feeling comfortable, when people were encouraging me to touch myself and that it looked sexy. Otherwise, it would have all been lost in the wind. I got into camming because of that, and because some friends of mine had shown me videos of Chatterbait, and during that time, I got very curious, watching the other girls and seeing what they did, and it was just, I liked the idea of being able to choose my own boundaries and just figuring out exactly what I wanted to do. And I figured, oh, I don't even have to take my clothes off. But I absolutely ended up taking my clothes off. And that's why I am here where I am today.
Sure. Wait, let me write that down. You're saying ways that you're able to come is by streaming. I'm writing down tips from my wife.
Touching self, taking clothes off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to let
Crucifix
her know.
over the bed?
Yeah. No, that's the opposite, isn't it? Yeah.
Under the bed.
So I'll take down all the crucifixes we have. Okay, good. So you grew up in kind of a religious background. Is there a specific denomination to that, or do you
we
not
were
mention it?
actually non-denominational, so that's great.
Okay. I went to Catholic school up until 8th grade, I think, and years later it turned out we had one of them priests that were a little touchy, but I wasn't good enough for that. So I was a cute kid, but I wasn't great. So how extreme was the religion you grew up in terms of, were you, grape juice for the wine on the weekends, or was it like snakes and fire above your head and, waving them? What is that, Pentecostal, I believe? Something like that?
Jehovah's Witnesses. But really, I would say I wasn't as extreme as our neighbors at the time. Our neighbors, I sat between an Armageddon cult.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
Makes sense.
And a sawmill that created their own church out of the wood that they had that was extra, and then they lined all of the walls with the heads of the animals that they hunted, and
to masturbate
underneath
in
this
front of.
big gigantic cross, they all also happen to look very much like each other, but there was this big wooden cross, and at the top point were these big fucking deer antlers. Yes.
Wow, that's
yeah, so we were nothing like that, but it was more like masturbation is a sin. I was told that God gives you crowns in heaven based on how religious you were. Like if you die doing something for God, like trying to preach his word, that gives you extra crowns. And
Crowns as
Like
in
the-
hat or crayons, like, you know.
crowns. sorry.
Oh, I would
And
hate
they
to get
said-
to heaven and there's like, here's a yellow, and you're like, shit.
They said like, oh yeah, you'll get a bigger mansion in heaven the more good deeds you do. Your house will get bigger. That's what
because
they
that'll
told
be
us.
important up there, you know.
Yeah, you know, you have to have a mansion based on
there's-
your godly deeds.
Your
And,
your place in society is essential to your growth in heaven. How do you ever plan to get ahead and get a good job if you don't get a good crown when you get
you
there?
know what's really funny?
Sure.
Sorry,
No.
there's just such an amusing juxtaposition because this from the point of this conversation and how religious I was before,
Mhm.
and the fact that at midnight, from the time that this is being filmed, I am starting my Team Skeet All-Star feature of the month. And that feature happens to be satanic
Oh,
in
nice.
theme.
Or yeah, Halloween. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
yeah.
I get possessed by
Oh.
a book trying to raise the dead.
It's not the good book,
So,
right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
bad
it's
one.
not a good book.
Okay, okay.
I find that so funny.
Well, it seems like the best way to make a porn star is have her be intelligent and also gorgeous, and then throw a lot of like, hey,
Religious trauma.
if you do this sex stuff,
Sexual
so
repression.
bad for you. Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. Okay, so actually, talking about Team Skeet, are you a fan of the storyline that appears before the action in videos? Do you like the acting aspect of it? Do you like the storytelling aspect? I myself, hand up, am a pig and don't care necessarily. I do appreciate that the option is there, and hey, if you don't like it, fast forward. But all the major sites and everything else always do that, and I think that's great because I think it gives the opportunity for people to act. So do you like those type of scenes? Not necessarily talking about Team Skeet, who's featuring you right now, but just in general.
I would like to say I love acting themed scripts.
Okay.
Acting heavy is my favorite kind of shoot. And let's see. I was going to say something else, but it seems to have slipped my mind. I was going to say that, oh, that's right. I particularly masturbate for the plot. I stop masturbating when the porn comes in.
Oh. You know, it'd be great.
You know,
We could masturbate in the same room and just never be on the same timeline with this. Because I watched the plot.
exactly.
I watched the plot and I'm like, well, let me just get hydrated here.
That's when you're supposed to get hard.
Oh, okay. I have that problem all the time though, so like I'm always screaming at it to get hard. So you do appreciate. Now, is there any specific genre or niche that you especially like out of the storyline type things?
Mm, I probably shouldn't say what I like. Um,
Uh-oh.
If it's God, what if it just took a really dark road?
What if-
She
No.
was like, there's a girl and there's 6 Doberman pinchers around, and you're just like, no, God, no,
That's
shh,
probably just-
quiet, you're ruining your career. And she's like, and these dogs are voracious, okay? They want it bad. And we're just like,
6
no,
dogs, swastikas.
No. Yeah, just this real sweetheart. She's like, we take down all the crosses and we put up iron eagles, and you're like, no, shut up. And 6 brown, what are they called? Brown coats. What did they call them? Nazis? Whatever. 6 Nazis come in and we're like, shut up, Leana. Jesus Christ, don't do that. No.
They called them
No,
Krauts.
And
no.
afterwards, her publicist is like, cut it out. Cut it all out. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. This girl's a sweetheart. I'm not trying to fucking ruin her. Anyway, so look, we have already set a precedent of how much worse it could be. Would you mind telling us what you prefer?
Okay.
Okay.
I love the idea of slutification, especially in the
Nice.
essence of consensual non-consent. So I kind of like the rapier shoot
So
You know what?
videos.
Within-
I think
yeah,
are
with it-
kind of hot.
within the case of that, it's all consensual, so it's just play.
Exactly.
So,
Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't mean everything he said in Django. Okay, if
Well,
he
he meant-
did, he wouldn't
Exactly.
work
He meant
anymore.
some of
Thank
them.
you.
he meant half of them.
Oh God.
So like, what? Take me on a ride here. Like, were we talking like distracted? Like you're playing a video game and some dude comes up and just takes you for a ride or something, or like how like, or are you talking like a full like fantasy of somebody just getting it when they don't want it?
Getting it when they don't want it, but then they come around.
But it's all
to want
consensual.
it.
Yes. Basically,
it.
it
Oh,
has to
so-
be getting it when you don't want it. So it's just like, no, and then, oh wait, this feels really good, and then, oh my God,
Oh.
I'm addicted to sex and I can never go back now. My life is
Oh, okay. So that's a little different. That's like sort of
Yeah.
like a
Reluctance.
reluctance, coaxing, kind of like like a reluctant. What's the word when you're like coaxing, like not coaxing, but you're like you're
I have no idea where
you
you're
offer them $1 to fucking blow your dick, and they're like, nah. And you're like, all right, how about 5? And they're like,
negotiation,
"Okay, 5."
bribing.
No. So it starts out definitely rapey. Like maybe
Okay.
the girl is like kidnapped, like, oh, I don't want to
Oh.
be here. You're gross. And
Patty
then by
Hearst.
the end, she's like, oh, I love it. I'm addicted to sex. I can't live without your penis. It's
Oh,
it's that kind
Stockholm
of-
syndrome. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome porn. I guess that's my fetish, besides lesbian nun porn.
Oh, well,
Because I also really like the religious aspect of that one.
Lesbian nun-
that's awesome.
I may have heard you say that was one of your secret fetishes. Lesbian nuns don't necessarily do it for me, but what would they be wearing in this fantasy?
Ooh, so they would definitely be wearing a traditional nun habit.
Okay.
And underneath, right, they just start undressing. I like the idea that it's just completely classic. There would have to be like
Just a
deep
rag,
religious.
because they're on their period,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. So there would be deep like religious reverence because they know that what they're doing is really wrong, but they want to atone for their sins by repenting to God in their full nakedness. And then they like fuck in the church or something, or like fuck with the pages of the Bible, just something crazy like that. It's,
I had heard you pitch it though as lesbian nuns in latex, and that's that.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Latex lesbian nuns is another one. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I am obsessed with latex to an extent. I have very few fetishes, and very few of them are weird. Latex I really love. Have you ever worn any kind of latex or any of the stuff like that? And how much of a hassle is it getting it off if you have?
Okay, so I actually have 2 latex bodysuits and 2 sets of latex gloves. And I can say it is absolutely extremely difficult getting latex onto your body. No matter what shape you are, I think it's just always going to be difficult. I can say that with absolute certainty, because when I finally get the latex on, it's like, oh, it fits, but I might get a cramp if I breathe the wrong way.
Okay.
So it can be very difficult, like if you're wearing a latex bodysuit and a harness, because then it just adds so many more things that you have to take off before you can breathe again. And bless the ladies that wear latex in the summer. That's all I have to say. In those hot, stuffy rooms where they go on and perform for hours. Fucking saints.
Oh, Jesus. We stepped off of it because Shane and I have severe like ADD. But would you mind telling us the story real quick, and then we will jump back to all the other stuff we are progressing towards, of your abstinence concert that you saw when you were younger?
Oh, you wanted more details of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played it in the car with my wife as we were driving to physical therapy for her, and she couldn't stop laughing. She was like, oh my God, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. I was like, I know, and I get to talk to this girl. If you would please, in detail, the name of the song and everything else. Could you give us a quick overview on the abstinence concert that you attended? Also, how old were you, if I can ask?
Oh gosh, I think I was 13 during the abstinence concert. And so at that time, I had come into the church. They wanted us to pre-order purity rings. They were pewter rings with the Bible verse on them. We did so about 2 weeks in advance because they said they were all going to be handmade. And so they gave us our rings and we walk in and it's completely dark. And so the first thing that starts playing is a scene from Taken, where where it's the dad on the phone is like, I don't know what you did to my daughter, but I'll find you.
Sure.
And that was supposed to be the theme to intimidate the guys. Like, this is what a dad's going to be like if you have sex with his daughter. That's how he's going to react. And they played Spin the Wheel of STDs. So they'll be like, oh, you got gonorrhea, and they actually spun the wheel of STDs on the screen, and it would tell you all of these horrible things that would happen if you had sex. And then they brought out this wooden heart. They had fireworks and different visual effects leading into it. And so we're all just hyped. We're like, yeah, there's rock music. And then they said, this is what love looks like at first. It's pure, it's beautiful. And then the music starts changing. And the bass starts blah, blah, blah. And I remember, oh fuck, which came first? I think a guy with a chainsaw comes in and he saws the heart in half.
Well, if I can interrupt you, the song was Drowning
Let
Pool.
the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor was playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
And
song.
they said, and this is what love does to you. This is what sex does to your love. And so they saw the heart in half. And then they said, and this is what STDs do after sex. And then they had a flamethrower and they set the heart on fire.
Wow. Striking.
And that was supposed to be what sex and STDs do to your relationship and why you shouldn't have it. They also had a video of a girl talking about what you can do to not have sex. And her thing was she wrote love letters every time she thought of masturbating and every time she thought of having sex, so that when they got married, she would give these letters to him as a gift.
Like 80% of the letters are just like, I'm so fucking wet and I just want a cock inside me so fucking bad. I'll fuck anyone and anything.
She's writing a letter. She goes, so there's 6 Doberman pinchers in the room. That was, it would be so great if you went to that concert and that was the moment when it clicked in your head when you just went, who cares about religion? Production value is what I'm looking for in life. I really want high value production. Now, what is the quickest way for me to get to the top of the high production film route? Possibly pornography. I mean, sure, you can go audition for, Game of Thrones or whatever else, but this is the fastest way. Yeah, I just thought that story was so funny. I thought that, that's a lot of production to drive the point home. I would just show pictures and be like, hey guys, this is gonorrhea.
That's what they do in public school.
You don't want this. Okay. Did they do that in public school? I just remember gym teachers telling us like,
yeah,
hey man, don't burn your dick.
Yeah, they showed us pictures in public school in 6th grade in health class. Because it's science and not some fucking fairy tale book from 2,500 years ago. But they had like a slideshow. So it was like, oh, this is syphilis. And we're all like, oh, ew. And the teacher's like, yeah, I know, but you have to learn about this. This is gonorrhea. And we're like, oh, Jesus, fuck. And he's like, all right, can we just tone down the language, Rashid, please? And, they're just going through all these things. And that drove the point home. Like I definitely didn't always use a condom before I got married, but sometimes, because I saw those pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
If I hadn't seen those pictures, I would have never used them because they're a sin.
I would like to say I think that the Christian side of things is extremely dramatic with certain things, like to keep everyone from having anal sex, because anal sex was becoming very popular in the Christian community.
You don't say.
Yeah.
People were
preserve
saying,
virginity.
yes, to preserve virginity. They're like, it's the place God doesn't look. People were talking about it.
Oh my God, they
One
said
of
that.
the-
Someone
one
said
of-
that to you.
Yeah.
The place
And-
God doesn't look.
And
Oh my God.
to avert us from having anal sex, they told us the rectum does not produce a natural lubricant. Therefore, if something goes inside, you will immediately perforate something and you'll bleed to death in 30 seconds, and the ambulance won't be able to come and save you. It was like, whoa, okay. Not doing anal sex. That just sounds like something absolutely terrible and awful.
Damn.
And they made sex just seem super scary. Just to sort of really hit it home that just no one have sex.
Yeah.
And honestly, so I've been to both private school and public school, and I can say the people in private school are more awful than the people in public school by far. People in public school are a whole lot nicer.
Oh, see, I've been to both as well. I went to Catholic up till 8th grade and then public high school. I can verify. It's so funny that you bring that up, because we've interviewed other girls before and brought up the Catholic girl trope, and a lot of them have been like, I don't know that one. Let me tell you, I am firsthand experience at Catholic girls will do anything to get laid that doesn't involve losing their virginity. And I have been present to that trope.
Oh yeah. They'll fuck a marker, but not a cock.
I just meant more, the other way. Like
Oh,
some
yeah,
of
in the
us,
ass.
some of us have started that way. Yes, correct. With a priest, I was
Lucky
the taker.
bastard.
But yeah, okay, all right. So, shit, I just lost my place.
We're talking about anal.
No, I know, I know, I know.
Catholic girls and anal and sex.
Nope.
Well, it's really a shame that they would, just lie to you, at least withhold information. They didn't even tell you about spit.
They didn't provide very much information at all about anything except for just how terrifying it would be.
Sure. So let me ask you, going along with your reaching out to lonely people or helping people or through that, do you also
Yes.
include any kind of, or would you ever be interested in doing any kind of sexual education down the line? Maybe a YouTube series where you keep your clothes on and talk about it for kids. Like, is there any pushback that you have against? Yeah, that sounded weird. My thing was more like, I'm picturing a kid just like Leana Lovings, except, without the big giant backpack. And this kid doesn't know anything about sex. And then they find on the YouTube, like, hey, just so you know, if you want to be religious, that's okay, but understand the truth is behind this, da da da. Do you have any other drives other than helping like lonely people or people who can't connect? Is there any other paths you'd like to go down in terms of reaching out to people and helping people?
I absolutely want to reach out and help more people, especially when it comes to girls that are scared of pursuing their sexuality. And what I want to be able to show them is that it's okay to come from a religious background and to embrace your sexuality. I absolutely support new cam girls and new girls that are coming into the industry now. In terms of their business prowess and their desire to grow in the industry. I think that I have absolutely considered even sex therapy as an option before, because I like the idea of telling someone, hey, this is how you safely pursue your sexuality. And this is how you start to embrace more of yourself.
Sure. We do a separate side series called Your Worst Friend, Brand New Faces. And we talk to a lot of girls who are just breaking into OnlyFans, camming, this and that. Is there any bit of advice you could give towards a new cam girl starting out? I will literally clip this and play it for them on all the other interviews we do going forward. Because, again, I've heard an interview with you, but also we've gone through a similar thing as a podcast. Our first like 4 episodes, no downloads, none whatsoever. And our goal now, our shows are downloaded in over 90 countries. Like, I mean, it is a major jump and a major improvement. But what it took was that consistency, that desire to grind, that understanding that, yes, no one's listening today, but that doesn't mean 20 people won't be listening tomorrow, 30 people won't be listening tomorrow. When you first start out in cam and I don't know if new girls get a boost to the top. I think like My Free Cams normally does that. But have you been in empty rooms before where you go, what the fuck am I doing?
Without a doubt. This year, I've seen the most astounding growth I've ever achieved. But my very first year, that was 5 years ago as a cam girl, because this is my first year in porn.
Sure.
5 years ago as a cam girl, my very first stream, I was on a potato of a laptop. I had no resources. I had $20 in my bank account. And I went on in a pair of overalls and a white t-shirt, hugging a teddy bear. I had 16 people in my room. You could basically just see pixels on the screen. It was just that bad.
Sure.
And I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have anything. My fans eventually were like, hey, well, we want to see you better. So they bought me a webcam and they bought me lights. I invested all of my money initially into just food and camming equipment. And I kept upgrading and upgrading. And now I have better and better equipment. Really, I recommend investing in good equipment, because that is what's going to sustain you. It's what's going to be able to make your streams more reliable. Investing in good Wi-Fi. Whenever you move to a place, always investigate their Wi-Fi speeds or their Wi-Fi plans before anything. But you don't have to have that when you first start out. It's okay to start with 30 people in your room, with 15 people. I had 6 people in my room. And you know what? Even now, sometimes there are going to be slow days where, like, even if you have a lot of people, there's very little interaction. That's okay. What you need to do is just keep on being yourself, because that's what people are magnetized to.
Sure. There you go. Boom. Clipped. Here's what I was going to ask you. You seem like a bit of a planner, like somebody who goes, I need to figure out the best way to tackle this. You say you start with a potato and this and that and whatever, and I get that makes total sense. But I was watching an interview with Mr. Beast. He's a YouTube guy online. He gives a lot of money to charity. He seems like a good guy. When he decided he was going to be a YouTuber, he sat down with 5 of the people he was going to go into production with, and they would meet 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year before they shot anything. Did you investigate camming and what the best way to tackle it was? Now, I understand you were limited on resources at that time, but did you know that the best thing would be to upgrade your resources? Or was it the people in your room saying, hey, we need to get you a better computer, we need to get you this? Or did you know immediately, like, this is what I need to do, this is going to be the smart move to make?
That's a really wonderful question. I can say for a fact that I read a lot of cam girl articles before I became a cam girl. I was watching cam girls' rooms. I was watching the girls that made it to the top every single night. And I would take notes, and then I would look and I would take peeks at the girls that weren't doing so great. So I would start at the very beginning of the feed based on number of viewers, and then I'd go all the way down to the back, and I would click on rooms that caught my attention, and then I would just keep reading articles. I read articles on, do you want to be a cam girl? What are the ramifications of being a cam girl? At the time, I was working on a double major in biology and psychology with a specialization in neuroscience. So I was looking up what are the ramifications of being a cam girl and going into the medical field. Would I get pullbacks if someone discovered my identity? so there was some hesitation based on that. And then I looked up what type of equipment I should get when I'm getting better. And I put a lot of hours into my first streams. Even though there were 20 people in my room, I streamed 4 hours twice a day. So that was 8 hours a day, every single day for months before I relaxed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll trust medical professionals a lot better if I know I can find their genitals online. It's fair.
I'm starting with this new doctor. Wow, those are 32 double D's. Yeah. Okay, I'll let her check me out. So you know what I think people should have an understanding of is that you plan your production, you understand what goes behind good production. It's a big wooden heart with a chainsaw. No, and any future projects you have or anything like that will definitely have that high level of production. So we only have a couple minutes left with you. I guess Shane, we could do a rapid fire at the end with our sex questions real fast. But let me ask, what is on the horizon? In terms of, do you want to start your own production on your own things like full-time, like a big site? Are you happy with some of the independent content creators like an OnlyFans, a Fansly, any of those things, which again, folks, check the episode description. I plugged her at the beginning. We'll plug her at the end. You need to follow Leana Lovings all over the place. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it right now. On Twitter, Leana Lovings, Leana Lovings, Lovings. On OnlyFans, Leana Lovings. Instagram, the Leana Lovings, because she pissed off Mark Zuckerberg at some point. And on Twitch, Luna Lore, LunaLure. What was my question? Oh, what is the future going to hold for you in terms of this industry? And is it the goal of all girls to kind of, maybe not, I'm not asking to speak for all of them. That was a stupid question. Are you interested? Yeah, that was dumb. Are you interested into stepping into your own production outside of just whatever you shoot for OnlyFans? Like, do you want to get bigger? Do you want to get, bigger sets, more people on them? What's the future?
Always. I'm always pursuing gigantic creative projects. And I get extremely excited when there's like a 20, 30, 40 page script. That is something that I live for. When it comes towards participating in bigger and bigger companies, I love that because it means there's more things that I get to participate in. Yeah, opportunities where it's like, hey, I got to participate in a big production that did this crazy sex act, or, it had this crazy set. We did so much fun things. What I love focusing on is the art. And even if it's something silly, even if it's like porn comedy, what I'm talking about there.
Sure.
I love porn parodies. I just think they're amazing and funny. Like Velma cosplays.
There you go.
Yeah. I want to do a very detailed Velma spinoff. There might be something in the future, but nice. I can't say. And in the end, I don't know if I actually want to create my own company per se, but I've always been pursuing making my own videos. I made videos on ManyVids, and I'm just going to continue to make my own videos on my own free time, but I want to be able to pursue everything.
For sure. Shane, do you want to ask your question that you always ask at the end very piggishly?
Yeah. You like piss?
No, I'm not a piss girl.
There you go. Thank goodness. And then my piggish question, please rank in order of what you prefer: facial, swallowing, cream pie. Obviously dependent on the person and such like that, but just in general.
Swallowing, cream pie, facial.
There you go. Okay.
All
And what is the reluctance? What puts facial at 3 there? By the way, I do like your ranking. I would agree with that. Is it the stickiness? Is it like messing up your makeup? What is it there? Is it
I get
getting in your
scared of it
hair?
getting in my eyes.
Not with those nerd windows on your face,
Oh.
though. There you go.
You'd be surprised. There has been a scene where he shot at my glasses and then he shot again somehow through the window of my glasses and into my eyes. It has happened.
Yeah. My shit flings, man. It goes everywhere.
All right.
It's based on trajectory. There are a lot of different things, but I really love swallowing. I feel like it's extremely giving, and that's why it's my favorite.
All right, I'll clip that out to watch later. Ladies and gentlemen, we were talking to Leana Lovings today. She is a rising star. She is the Team Skeet. What are you, the all-star of the month now for all of October?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. This is not necessarily coming out tomorrow, but I will ensure that you come out within October. We're launching in a couple weeks this season. We like to do a whole season, edit it, put it out there. Make sure you follow her on Twitter, Leana Lovings, LeanaLovings. The L's are little, right?
Tiny ones.
Tiny, lowercase.
Baby
Is that what we
L's.
said, or are they uppercase?
OnlyFans, yeah. OnlyFans,
Oh.
everything's lowercase. Twitter
OnlyFans,
is uppercase. L's.
Okay, all right. The L's on the Twitter are uppercase. OnlyFans, little L's, Leana Lovings. Instagram, the Leana Lovings. And check her out on Twitch if you want some safe for work kind of content. Because you've heard her today. She's intelligent. She's very funny. She's adorable.
Plays
And
games.
she's sweet. And she plays games. Yeah. Go on there. You just wouldn't it be great if I assume do you have a mod for something like your Twitch or I don't know. Again, I also don't know how Twitch works. Wouldn't it be great if people were just like, not criticizing you at all, but just like, fucking, she can't hit anything in Call of Duty, man. And someone was like, it's because she's a chick. And you were like, no, you're banned. No, we just think she stinks at this game. Do you stink at that game? Are you good at games?
Okay, it depends.
Okay.
I just hit platinum on my League of Legends ranked, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty good at League of Legends, but when it comes to first person shooters, it depends. I'll have really shitty aim on some days and then really good aim on other days. I once got a triple headshot in Call of Duty where it's one bullet but 3 people.
Wow, that's like an eclipse.
That is one thing that I can feel very proud of. I'm very, very good at those, but
two real quick questions because I know you have to go. Do you ever get really angry at anything in life privately? Like, do you ever stub your toe and you're just like, fucking cunt? Or are you like good with that? Are you like driving and you're like, this fucking guy over here won't move? Because I don't see it. I think you would just be driving and there's fucking butterflies around your head and you're like, it's okay if you want to do 20 miles an hour under the limit. Well, I'm just enjoying life as is. Do you ever get really mad about stuff?
oh yeah. I mean, we all anger is healthy and it's something that everyone's going to experience. A lot of the times I'm very happy. I like to say that I look at everything as if I'm seeing it for the very first time. So I get very happy about even just mundane things, but I can get very frustrated. If it's like a change in my routine, I'll get very frustrated. Or like something that I planned out and it's just like, oh fuck, something got in the way. I was really planning on doing this later. That irritates me.
That's so funny that her most angry is her going, fuck, that irritates me. I have bite marks in my knuckles. I'm so furious about something.
People say that when I get angry, it's cute. I don't think it's cute. I'm like, I look super serious, but they're like, it's so cute. And
that actually is a niche maybe you hit. Again, we're going to let you go in 2 seconds. I apologize for this. You are just so interesting. Would you ever, I'm seeing the camera pan up with the not leather, I don't like leather, the latex black boots, and you're there with a crop in your hand. And we're shooting you as a full-on dom, like angry. Not Shane and I. We have no talent when it comes to shooting that stuff. Could you do that, and will you tackle that in the future, perhaps?
when it comes to that kind of fetish, based on the fact that I am exploring everything when it comes to my sexuality and my interests, there's absolutely a chance that's going to happen. And I think that would be really cool. I can be pretty switchy. So when it comes to some kind of dominatrix latex side, sure, Why not?
Wonderful. And then can you make this declaration? Are you the best video gaming porn star in the world?
No.
Okay. Do you have someone you want to reach the level of? Do you know? Or are you just
Mr.
basing it on your
Beast,
own
does he
assessment?
play games?
No, he doesn't fuck on camera.
Based on my own assessment, I just don't think that I am the best at video games in terms of other porn girls. Because there are a lot of gamers out there, they just don't say it.
I think she's being humble. You're going to see her on one of those ESPN clips someday. Luna Lore winning League of Legends. All the stats fly by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to Leana Lovings today, or Leana Lovings today. Oh, fuck, I went the whole time without screwing it up.
Gotta be one.
Twitter's uppercase Leana Lovings, Leana Lovings. OnlyFans is lowercase Leana Lovings. Instagram the Leana Lovings, and Twitch Luna Lore. Make sure you check the episode description. And you could just click to all these things. Go to yourworstfriend.com for all of our other interviews and to see stuff about Leana. And we really appreciate your time today. I'm sorry we ran a little bit over. You are just such a fascinating, interesting person, and you have a great perspective on life. And now I feel like I have had therapy for the week. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much. It was
Wonderful.
awesome talking with you guys. You're fantastic.
Thank you. Stay away from
Thanks.
Doberman Pinchers. Shane, we'll see you next week.
All
See
right.
ya.